All right, so we are going to go get started. All right, can everybody see my screen? Awesome. All right. So, welcome to Accessibility Made Easy. So here's our agenda for today. I'm going to introduce myself. We're going to have an agreement discussion. What are you hoping to get out of this workshop? And then I'm going to really dive into what the Accessibility Made Easy course is all about, so you can know and learn about it. And you can also ask me any question you want that you have about accessibility, about people with disabilities, like whatever you want. There is no like wrong question. There's no stupid question, because you don't know what you don't know. So I am Erin, and I am so excited for you to be here, because you've all made the choice to better your business by being accessible to everybody. I'm Erin Perkins, deaf entrepreneur, online business manager, and accessibility educator. For the last 2 years, I've been teaching my clients these simple but incredibly important strategies in order to make their business accessible and successful. Something I call successful, which is really what I really wanted to call my course, but it didn't resonate. That's how I came up with Accessibility Made Easy. But you know what? It always bothered me that my one-on-one clients were the only ones who were really benefiting from this knowledge. So that's where the idea of Accessibility Made Easy came in. The course is designed with purpose, so you can easily shift into intentionality, including those with disabilities, into your business. So before we begin this workshop, we're going to review the learning agreement and the ground rules for this workshop. These learning agreements are a shared set of expectations and a way for us to ensure that you get what you need out of this. So anything that is being shared on this, especially when people have questions, like that's confidential, that stays within this group, unless you explicitly say like this can be shared, or if there's like something that I feel like is important for people to acknowledge, I will ask you if I can share it on social media. Feel free to share like the screenshot or whatever on social media, but try not to share anybody's like faces. I also want you to have respect for others and yourself. It's also really important to spend the time listening. I also want you to hold space for everybody. So if anybody has a question, like let them ask their question, and because we need everyone to have a voice. And I want you to balance your energy between yourself and others, and please be present, because I really feel like this is a super important topic. All right. I encourage all participants to be on video when participating in discussion. Otherwise, I will have a hard time understanding you. Even though I might pick up someone that is talking, but if I don't see you, it's a little bit more challenging for me to find who's talking. I do also have the interpreter. So if you do need the interpreter sign, please let me know. Let me or Sarah know in the chat, so we can make sure she starts signing. Otherwise, she is here for me. If you do not want to be on video, that is also totally fine. Please type any comment or question. Also, please take turns talking so I can keep up with the conversation. It also lets our interpreter, Danita, be able to keep track of who's talking, because she can't interpret for more than one person at a time. Feel free to ask questions at any time during the workshop. Just pop them in the chat, and I'll address them as I need to. Everyone will be muted, but you are allowed to come off mute to ask your question. And also, if we can make this a little easier, raise your hand if you, so that I can call on you. All right. So this is where I want to know, what are you hoping to get out of this workshop? Right here, what are you hoping to get out of this workshop? Why do you feel like being accessible is important? Are you doing this because you feel like you have to, or are you doing this because it's the right thing to do? So I would love to know what you guys are saying, if I can see the chat box. All right. You don't know what you don't know. Yeah. It's the right thing to do. Rachel saying she's a run feminist business. She wants to make sure she's living up to her value. Natalie says, I care deeply about being a better leader and business owner. This is the right thing to do. Maggie said she wants to be as inclusive as possible and in line with her values of her business and life. And Larissa said it's the right thing to do, and she doesn't know what she doesn't know. So everyone seems like they feel like this is the right thing to do. Olivia says she wants to connect with as many different people as possible. Holly says she wants to make sure her business is accessible for as possible, so she can make sure she's advising her client on making the website and digital marketing more inclusive. I want to make things accessible, but she's having trouble finding the answers for systems and tools from Google. Finding information online is so hard. I love all these answers. Yeah. All right, so this is amazing. So you know you're a small business owner, every dollar counts, but you're actually leaving about $490 billion of disposable income on the table if your online business isn't accessible to the disabled community. So I get it. I totally get it. I'm a deaf business owner. I've actually struggled finding resources that walk me through the website accessibility guidelines. I'm like, these standards are so hard to find. They're very long-winded and dull. They're full of legal jargon and they're complicated to implement. But here's the cold hard truth. Your business needs to be accessible if you're going to make it. You know why? 1 in 4 adults in the United States have a disability. They actually do have money to spend, but they won't be spending it with you if your business doesn't give them equal access. And actually, studies also show 71% of the people will abandon your website that's hard to use. That's about 14.4 billion per year out the window. So I know you guys already posted, it's really hard to find this information and you're not really sure how to implement it. That's totally it. So in the course, Accessibility Made Easy is established with 5 fundamentals. Most people, when they think about accessibility, they think it's just their website. And to be truthful, website accessibility is complicated, technical, and costly. But the thing is, it's not enough. Your website is actually not your only touch point that you have with your audience. You're also interacting with them through social media, through email, through video, during coaching, at live events. The list goes on. Every time you communicate on one of these platforms, you could be losing customers because they can't access your content. So as I created Accessibility Made Easy, I realized that there are 5 key fundamentals for making your business accessible. These fundamentals will be your guiding light as you take action. The first one is consistency. I want you to think about your local grocery store. As you walk through your grocery store, you notice that the essential items are always designated around the perimeter. As you navigate toward the interior aisle, The items go from essential to impulse. Literally every grocery store in the world uses this model. So I will often refer to consistency throughout all the modules. You'll need to think about how you're being consistent with your design, your social media, the written word, your website. For instance, your website should be consistent throughout all the pages. Your headers should be the same on every page. The next fundamental is defiance. Just because it's a standard does not mean it's right for you or your audience. I want you to consider whether or not there is a more accessible way for you to reach and communicate with your audience. Is there a more inclusive way of doing things? So when you're creating an online course like I am, you start adding in all the other stuff like offering a Facebook group, doing Facebook Live, because it seems like everybody else is doing it. It's also part of the course outline, but is this really the best way to reach your audience? Fundamental number 3, we talk about intentionality. Like I said, we don't know what we don't know. Finding the right way for you to be intentional is in the choices you're making is very key. I want you to ask yourself the question, am I being intentional about the choices I'm making? Like when you post on social media, we often feel the need to post every single day because that's what everybody does. I want you to consider when you're creating content, whether it's for social media, for your online course, or for your email. Is there a reason why you're sharing this information? Are you being intentional about how you're presenting it? Fundamental number 4, bias. We all have unintentional biases. That's totally okay. I want you to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I want you to expand your perspective. So most of us will create content based on what you know and who you know. But I'm going to push you beyond your dreaming client, your client avatar, your persona that you've created. Think beyond what you know. And I know there's a few people in my group that feel like I do not have a dreaming client. I hate that word. I'm not saying that you don't need to have your ideal client, but when you create your ideal client, I'm going to force you to go outside the box a little bit. And I want you to ask yourself the question, how would somebody other than myself perceive this? The last fundamental is diversity. Everyone is unique for a million of reasons. How many different ways can a human interact with your content? Do you see anything that may be confusing for you or your audience and causing them to give up? So, I said, how many different ways can you create the content? But I'm not saying you have to create 5 different ways for them to interact with your content, but I want you to pick the one or two that make the most sense. So when you create your brand, you're creating something based on what you know. But I want you to push outside your box and push beyond your usual circle. All right, does anybody have any questions before I dive into the next aspect? All right, no, I'll wait a couple minutes. All right, what do you guys feel about the 5 fundamentals? All right, that makes sense, totally makes sense. It actually feels implementable. Love defiance as a fundamental. Love the call of getting uncomfortable. Yes, I love that. I feel like people have gotten too comfortable with being comfortable. All right. So You're all probably wanting to know, who is this course, Accessibility Made Easy, is designed for? It is actually designed for small business owners and content creators. So I've grouped it that you have the course creator, you have the video creator, you have a coach, you have a designer, a podcaster, a marketer, event planner, summit creator, or just small business owner. Let's go back actually. So this course will actually walk you through a step-by-step process of making your entire business accessible. There's that. Yeah. So we have Become a Transcription Pro. Beautiful, accessible visual design. Creating an accessible online course. Accessibility and email marketing. Bringing people together virtually. Social media and accessibility. Website and accessibility. And of course, we always have tons of bonus content. So I know the one thing is that, all right, that's a lot of content, yeah. But I want to tell you how I designed the course. The learning map. Every persona will have their own learning map. So these learning maps will help you, whatever persona you are, prioritize what will make your business the most accessible, the fastest. I want you to know that it's not designed for you to make a radical overhaul in 1 to 2 weeks. This course is designed with the intention of you being able to take micro action over a long period of time so that you can truly integrate accessibility into your business. What you won't find is the fluff. I don't like fluff. I hate fluff. I think it drives me crazy when I go find a video. It's just to ask somebody to show me how to do something, and it's 2 minutes of actual action, but the whole video is 10 minutes long. No, there won't be any 5-hour long video. My goal is every video is less than 5 minutes. So if you put it on 1.5 speed, it'll take you 2.5 minutes to get through each video. So what's in it for you if you address these micro changes? Beyond, all the touchy-feely benefits of accessibility, which there are many, and they're very important, being accessible makes a lot of business sense. You'll grow your audience. You'll be able to reach even more people than you already have because you've considered all the needs across all the different parts of your business. Did you know that caption videos get more views? Adding caption to your Instagram story get viewed 12% more times. Viewers are 95% more likely to retain a message when they watch it in video compared to 10% when they read a message. You'll make more money. Disabled people have money to spend. $490 billion in disposable income in the US alone. They could be spending that money with you. That's actually almost equivalent to the entire Black community, which has 501 billion, or the entire Hispanic community, 582 billion. Those are all so when you're not accessible, you've lost out on 1/3 of that income. Your accessibility will be comprehensive. I'm not talking about just your website. I'm not just talking about social media. I'm talking about your entire business being accessible so everyone can benefit from your amazing products and services. Inclusion inspired innovation. One of the books that I read earlier this year, a lot of people are so fearful of being accessible because they feel like if you're being accessible, it's going to make things ugly. Granted, websites like the government website or the WCAG website is ugly, yes. But like us as small business owners, you can still have beautiful design and it will still be accessible to other people. Finally, it's not about doing the right thing, it's about doing the smart thing. Now, you might be asking about what's the cost? So the cost of this course, there's two options. You can just become a transcription pro for $27, or you can have access to all 8 modules for $147, and you will have full access to everything. So I know Sarah is gonna add in the link in the chat box, and that my last thing is making business accessible. That's the stuff and accessible put together, because corporate big shops aren't the only ones who deserve a nice house and a booming business. So now let's dive into the question and answer. There is no wrong, weird, awkward question. I'm an open book.